All right, so here's a quick crash course on how you can just up your game in ChatGPT or large language models. So if you're just starting out, you're going to use ChatGPT. This is where you go. There's so many tools, but you can start with ChatGPT. It is the best user experience. It's the best for beginners. So start with ChatGPT. And I would encourage you, when you're talking with ChatGPT, to start with very simple requests: cooking, travel, exercising, brainstorming. I'm also going to encourage you to use the dictation feature, being able to talk to ChatGPT, and then it's going to transcribe everything that you're saying. This is the best way to engage and communicate with a large language model. So as you can see, it is going to transcribe the words that I use, and this is going to speed you up by a lot from talking to your machine than texting or writing or typing. And so talking about cooking, travel, exercise, and brainstorming. These are going to be the things that you talk about to understand the nuances that exist in the model, to understand how it works. Because ultimately, this is going to prepare you for something called prompt engineering. And engineering is like a really fancy word for saying, how do I construct and build the right questions to influence the outputs of ChatGPT? How do I start to say, oh, you know what? Let me get my recipe in 2 steps or 5 steps or vegan only. Let me get my travel plans in 1 day, 6 months, 1 year. Let me get my exercise in 1 day, 2 weeks, right? You can just start to play with the outputs for ChatGPT. And this is considered prompt engineering, how you can influence the outputs of a large language model, which ChatGPT is this. Once you start to you oscillate between these two things, just coming up with ways to talk with ChatGPT. And I'm saying literally talk. Once you start to get a good handle on this, you can move into more advanced things. You can learn about the different tools that exist inside of ChatGPT. I already mentioned the dictation feature, but there's also a voice feature where you can actually literally hear ChatGPT's voice and it's talking back to you. There's an agent mode, which is brand new, deep research, create images, web search, Canvas, which is like Google Docs or Words. You can use different models, GPT-4, O3, O4 Mini. And so it's quite expansive in terms of what you can do inside of the platform. But it's going to start with prompt engineering. These are just different modalities for how you create prompts. And so once you get through that phase, you can get into some of the more advanced things with custom GPTs and projects. And so you can think of custom GPTs as simply recycled prompts. If you're always having to update ChatGPT in terms of what you're doing or what the context of the conversation is, you can create prompts to help streamline this process. And the projects are for being able to organize all of your chat windows. And so these right here, this is kind of the steps that you can take when you want to be able to understand ChatGPT, because ultimately what it's going to do is prepare you for like automations and other more advanced tools. But start there and work through that first before you get into these other tools and learning things.